Hello, I'm the Reviewer. You review it, I review you. This is my partner, Mr. It. Patreon-sponsored review today, Cinematic Venom's Lord of the Rings review. Wait, which film? All of them. What?!
Hate Lord of the Rings? What the fuck is wrong with you?
I hate Lord of the Rings. Review it then! No, I'm not reviewing.
Okay, I legitimately want to know.
I mean, I haven't even started the review yet. Look at that dislike bar.
Dude, the video has over 42 million views! Unless you didn't monetize, who cares?
Between 1937 and 1949, he wrote one of the best-selling written trilogies of all time, The Lord of the Rings, which sold over 150 million copies worldwide. I read them for English class back in high school, and I didn't like them either. Just throwing that out there before you all say you need to read the books first, just so you can appreciate the films more.
Well, that probably torpedoed half the arguments right there.
Richard Taylor and the Weta Workshop sounds like a porn studio.
The way you said that, it makes it sound like you have a vendetta against them.
I won't bother explaining the plot because it's basically the same for all three. Some hobbits have to take a ring to Mordor to destroy it in order to save the world, and a bunch of random shit happens in between to try to stop them.
Fair, but you can really do that with anything. Like, even my favorite film trilogy, Back to the Future. Kid has trouble staying in his own time period.
Thank you, Captain Exposition. And again, all of this dialogue, all these problems, they go unnoticed, right? You know, when other films do it...
Generally, the reason why we let this film get away with it is because the other elements are so good that we're more forgiving of the bad ones.
How would you honestly describe Frodo's character other than just, he's the hero?
Kinda nice, a little naive.
And Merry and Pippin, they're pointless. They tag along on the journey and all for no reason whatsoever. It's like that scene in Shrek.
Yeah. You're coming with me.
Why?
I get your point, but that's not the best example. In Shrek, it was because Donkey was the navigator.
The movie is also arse-numbingly hypocritical, considering the whole premise is that all kinds of races come together as one. They all unite. All races are equal in the fight against evil. Yeah, all races are equal despite orcs being used as slaves.
That's kind of the issue with having a world like this serve as an allegory. From what I recall, the Uruk gleefully serve their Dark Master. There's no sign in any of them that they would rather be doing something else. But then again, the only bit of Lord of the Rings media I've seen in the last few years is Shadow of Mordor, so I don't know.
Oh yeah, we're all equal even though the hobbits are much, much better, much stronger, much more independent, much braver, and basically better at everything than us.
I thought that was the elves.
And how can anybody take this fight scene seriously, let alone give it an award? It's fucking hilarious!
While I do take this fight more seriously than that, I will admit there is so much more you can do with two wise and powerful wizards dueling.
Not only is there no character development, but there's no story structure either. The movie is just walking and talking. Oh, J.R.R. Walking!
You were really proud of that one.
Fuck this script! What the fuck? The director didn't give a shit! Fucking just spend it all on crane shots! Who gives a fuck about writing? Just get the fucking chopper, what is it? Get to the chopper! I've forgotten fucking movie quotes now.
You know, I wanted to know your reasoning for disliking these films, and I understand your point so far, but I'm starting to think that you shouldn't have done this. Not because of how people would react to your opinion, but more like how you would react to the films.
This was by Peter Jackson, a real professional director who can make these characters do cartwheels through fly vomit whilst reciting songs from High School Musical, wearing outfits from Top Cat in the snow with Lil Wayne as a backup dancer, and everyone would still praise it as being genius.
Is it sad that I actually kind of want to see that happen? Me.
And you know, I really tried to enjoy this. I really did.
And I'll give you that. A lot of critics just won't put in the effort to meet a film halfway.
Gimli is the Jar Jar Binks of the trilogy.
That might be a little strong. Jar Jar was far more annoying and, depending on how you look at it, more racist.
You're about as funny as Bill Cosby mixing my girlfriend a drink at my next party.
Me.
Orlando Bloom is perfect at everything. He's the Rey of this trilogy.
I don't recall Rey being that perfect, or even really that good, even in just Force Awakens.
And there we go. One film down.
And at this point, you really should be ending it and putting Two Towers into a part 2.
Are you Mr. Boor?
Well, this took a turn.
You have the right to remain silent.
Look! A dragon!
Where?
Well, it's nice to know that the British police are just as ineffective as ours. This is why I don't generally do topical humor.
Rob doesn't like Lord of the Rings.
What? Come on, little hobbit.
Wow, this issue is so bad that it's turning his own family against him? I mean, I get that people like these movies, but they're not that good. Shun the heretics!
I mean, Gollum looks incredible, and I doubt anyone could ever dispute that, but Treebeard, there's a lot of shots where he looks so fake, it's embarrassing.
Admittedly, here he kind of looks like a stop-motion puppet.
So we have one half of the story being Sam and Frodo being led to Mordor by Gollum, despite Sam not wanting to share his hot piece of arse Elijah Wood with anybody else, and during their journey, Gollum grows to love Frodo. Just as a friend.
You sure this one didn't get botched up too?
1, that delivery was terrible. 2, does this really look like a face you're going to be intimidated by?
Release him, or I'll cut your throat.
No, but I will be intimidated by the fucking sword!
It's immortality, right? It lets you live forever, hence Gollum. But it also sends you insane. What? Who would want that? Have this ring, you can live to be 2 million. But it will also send you fucking insane and crazy, and you'll basically kill everyone. Even ones close to you. You'll lose your sanity, lose your body, you'll just become this demented, deformed fucking creature that has no threat. Yeah, sign me up, mate, sign me up. Why would anyone fucking want this?
It's a drug. The power makes you feel good, and you start to get desperate for it to the point of insanity. It's an overly extreme drug, but still.
Much like its predecessor, it did not follow the books entirely. Well, if Marvel can have Spider-Man come out and be on Iron Man's team, despite in the comics being on Captain America's and never being okay with revealing his identity due to his Aunt May, and everyone ignores that and calls it the most faithful adaptation to the comics, anything's possible.
But didn't Spider-Man join Iron Man's side and was in fact one of the first to reveal his identity?
2 shit films so far. We're doing well.
He did not like Two Towers either.
Get him!
Were they just standing there listening to his points? You know, the further they run into these woods, the more I just want to see them come across the Shire.
He's a hermit, fat hermit who hates Smeagol and you make some nasty lies.
Seriously? This is one of the antagonists. One of the bad guys we're supposed to be threatened by, and he just said, he makes up nasty lies. That's a line that the villain has said. Can you imagine Darth Vader saying that?
Obi-Wan never told you what happened to your father.
He told me enough. He told me you killed him.
No, Obi-Wan is a horrid, fat Jedi who hates Vader and makes up nasty lies.
Actually, I think that could work in a context where Vader sees Luke as nothing more than a naive child.
He's a villain! He's a villain! Send him to the asylum, Alfie! He's a fucking villain! I can't rip off this branch.
I don't know why I love that moment so much.
He goes as limp as a boned fish. Then she has her way with them.
The spider's gonna rape Frodo?
Me.
The man in Venom, Rob Boor, hates Lord of the Rings.
I think he just said dislike, not hate. Contrary to the internet's beliefs, there is a difference.
Couldn't find him anywhere. What are you doing?
Don't play with sharp objects in front of the child!
My name is Rob. And I hate Lord of the Rings.
Never mind that earlier point. This review is pretty good, but I have some issues. Specifically, the length. On YouTube, it is very difficult to get people to devote longer than about 20 minutes to a half hour on a video. So to have this video be an hour 15 is pretty risky. I feel like you should have divided this review into 3 parts, one for each film. Sure, overall it'd be the same length, but I think it'd be more manageable. To the review's credit, however, Rob does make his points well. Though I think he gets a little too angry at the people who like these films, despite understanding why people like them. And it was kind of hard to snark with this because either the points are legit or he undercuts himself with clips from the films before we had the chance to. Also, I can always respect someone who's not afraid to say that they don't agree with the popular opinion. I'm the reviewer. You review it, I review you.